Welcome back to Pilates. Today we are going to make use of a TheraBand to add some resistance to our exercises. This is a green, so it is just a little bit heavier, probably a moderate to heavy resistance band if you have like a different color code, but green is a good one today because we're doing a lot of work with our legs with the band. We're going to start today on our back. Just warming up through our back by doing a bit of a stretch. So take your arms out wide and then just let your knees drop side to side. Trying to draw the knee all the way to the ground. Lift the hips slightly so you can feel that stretch down the side of the body. One side to the other. We're going to build into doing quite a difficult movement in a bird dog or a modification of a bird dog. But we're going to just start by building up our abdominals. So thinking about your neutral spine position. You want your heels in line with your bottom. You want your tailbone flat on the ground so that it leaves a very small curve in your lower spine. You want to then take the bottom of your rib cage and pull it down to the ground. You can feel that switch on your abdominals lightly and roll the shoulders back and keep your chin tucked. So holding that neutral spine, we're going to lift one leg up into your tabletop position, follow it through with the opposite, and come back down. Then start with the opposite leg. Set your neutral spine position, taking the leg up, and the opposite to follow. Do this at your own speed. Make sure you're setting your spine and drawing in through the belly button each time you go to initiate the movement. Make sure you're still breathing throughout. The best way to breathe is to breathe out as a movement is difficult. We want to make sure that we are protecting our pelvic floor at the same time. So really draw up. So as you breathe out, draw up to lift the leg. And our next one, we're going to stay up in our tabletop position. Holding that here, we're going to take our arms up as well, and we are opposite arm, opposite leg moving away. If you point your toe up towards the roof, that makes the exercise a bit easier on your abdominals. If you take that leg all the way to the ground, you are making that quite difficult on yourself. Remember to hold your neutral position. Remember to breathe out as an exercise is hard, and keep that pelvic floor drawn up. And take knees to your chest and open up your lower back. We're going to take hold of the band, and we're going to be holding that in either hand and putting one foot through the band so that we end up holding like this. To start with, we are going to have hands just in line with our belly button and elbows resting on the ground. We're going to hold our legs in our tabletop position. We're going to push through just the one leg. Hold your neutral spine, really controlled as you push through. And we're going to do 20 push-throughs. Concentrate on your neutral spine position as you push the band away. You should feel like the band is helping you switch your glute muscle on. So think about your glute muscle squeezing as you push the band away. You'll also feel it in your quads nice and strong. This is our 10th here. We've got 10 to go on this side. Three to go. And last one. When you come back to the top, we're going to swap through legs. Hold your tabletop position with your legs again. Elbows in by your side, fingertips in line with your belly button, and push through the band. You should have 5 more. Good. Relaxing. We're going to take our legs to the ground and give our quads a stretch. So we're going to be folding our heel underneath our leg, grabbing our toes, and just stepping our foot across. For a stretch, if you want to lengthen that stretch out, take the arm all the way up and roll further into that stretch. So you should feel this through the front of the quad and up into a little bit of the lower abdominals, mostly through that quad and up into a hip flexor stretch. So taking ourselves the other way, if you start in that crook line, so feet in line with your bottom, you're sliding your foot underneath the knee, you're grabbing hold of that toe and you're stepping over. You can hold there, or you can lengthen the stretch by taking the arm into the air and rolling into that stretch. Coming back into that tabletop position again and bringing back our TheraBand. We're going through the same movement, but this time our arms are going to be up towards the roof. So with arms towards the center, this is going to put a little bit more strain on our arms. So we're actually using both arm and leg muscles here. We should be able to keep our abdominals on, so holding that position and pushing through. We're just doing 15. Last one. And swapping sides. Holding your arms up into that tabletop position and pushing through the leg. 15. relaxing the band, we're going to take ourselves all the way into a side lying position. And we're going to be opening up through our rotation, taking our rotation up the body. So we are opening up the hand all the way over the top of the body, taking that to the ground, trying to keep the hip and the knee on the ground here, so don't let those roll back. The rotation comes from the shoulder, taking your chin with you to keep that in line with the chest. Trying to bring the shoulder all the way to the ground. We're going to do 2 more. Take yourself all the way to the other side for the same stretch movement there. Remember to keep the knee and the hip on the ground. The closer your knees are to your chest, the more of a stretch that you will get out of your rib cage. Got 1 more. We're going to meet back on your back. This time our band is going behind our shoulder blades. So it wants to go just lower than your shoulder blades and over the top of your elbows. So when you're lying on your back, this is your movement here. You want it quite tight because we're doing like a chest press. So the movement becomes elbows from the ground, push all the way to the roof and coming back. So it's quite gentle to start. You can just feel the shoulder muscles activating, especially around the front of the chest, on the outside of the arms as well, and the delts. You're going to extend that now as you push towards the roof, follow through into a small crunch. We'll do 2 more here. Last one. And relaxing. Relax the band, keep it in your hands. This time take that over the top of the foot. Keep your other leg on the ground nice and straight. You're going to take your leg nice and straight into the air and just feel the stretch. So pulling back on the band to help you with that hamstring stretch here. We're going to sweep that hamstring stretch out into an adductor stretch by holding the tension on the band but letting our leg come out to the side, and you'll feel that through the groin muscles. Back to our hamstring stretch, swapping through legs. Other leg goes on the ground nice and straight, holding that hamstring stretch. Taking that hamstring stretch out wide so you can feel that stretching the groin now, holding the tension against the band to help you just settle into that stretch. Back to the center. Taking our band now, we're going to be having that between our hands. We're going to tie it around our wrists or around our hands like that. So what I do is I go thumbs underneath and I turn towards my belly button so that I end up with the band around my hands. You're going to hold that nice and high in the air. We're going to pull out against the band. Holding out against the band, you're going to push up through a bridge and take your thumbs back to touch the ground at the same time, always keeping the band pulling out. So coming up, thumbs touch the ground over your head and coming back down. Think about locking your ribcage to your pelvis by turning on your abdominal muscles, drawing your belly button into the spine. So we don't want to roll through the back. We want to come up as a nice, strong plank position between shoulder and hip. So you're maintaining that neutral spine position and not allowing your vertebrae to move, not allowing them to flex. Keep the tension out on the band. And relax. This time what we're going to do, hold the tension at the band. We're going to bring ourselves into a tabletop position. We're doing the same movement with the arms moving away to touch the thumbs on the ground. And this time the heels are moving away at the same time. You have two levels here. Level one, you're just moving your heels away, just as far as you can comfortably to the point of your heels touching the ground. Level two, you're pushing your legs away in a nice straight line. So that's our two levels there. First is heels go away, keeping your knees bent, only going as far as you can comfortably. Our second level is legs stretching away nice and straight. The closer your heels go towards the ground on both of those movements, the harder that exercise is for your abdominals. Remember that with the tension on the band, you want to have that pulling out the whole time. So let's go through that movement. And relax. Relax the band. We're going to come all the way over. It's starting in a 4-point kneel and then dropping down into a child pose. Just to stretch our back out. We're going to extend that stretch into our arms by bending our elbows. Trying to pull our elbows nice and close. Touching down as far down our neck as we can. Wriggle your elbows forward and keep trying to push your chest into the ground. Coming onto your belly. You're going to support your forehead with one hand, and you're going to grab the opposite toe with the other hand just to do a quad stretch there. Try and tuck your tailbone into the ground. It's going to extend the stretch through the front of the hip. And change sides. So you want to take opposite arm over to your opposite toe, relaxing your forehead on the ground, and tuck your tailbone under, pushing your pubic bone into the ground so you can get an extended stretch through the front of the hip. We're going to push back into a normal bird dog movement now. So in your 4-point kneel position, you're holding neutral spine, thinking about the same position we had on our back. So tailbone nice and flat, rib cage at the bottom drawn in so you can feel that the abdominals switch on. Draw the belly button to the spine. Think about rolling the shoulders back to open the front of the chest. Be nice and proud of there. We're going to go opposite arm, opposite leg moves away and comes back into our 4-point kneel position. Trying to brace before you move so that your spine doesn't move. So before you move here, you have your belly button drawn in. You're holding yourself nice and stiff, pushing into the ground with the leg and the arm that is staying before you move. So that when you do move, you get no movement through your spine. You get no side to side shift of your shoulders or hips. And you don't see your shoulder or hip lift up either. And relaxing. We're going to take the band and I want you to tie a knot in one end so that you have a small circle. So it doesn't need to be very big, your circle, it just needs to be big enough because you're going to put your foot through this and hold the band with the arm. So that ends up being your small loop. Putting that over the top of one toe so it's just in the middle of your foot so that we can get a good push. You're going to then hold that band with the opposite arm. The opposite arm on the ground there. You want it as tight as you are comfortable so you can readjust it as we go if you feel like you need more pressure against the band. But holding that position, we're keeping both arms on the ground and we're going to push through the leg. We're going to do 20 pushes. You should feel the glute nice and active through this movement, a little bit through the hamstring as well. And you should feel that the abs need to brace you through that movement. We have 3 to go. hands and to swap which foot the band is on so that we can do 20 through the opposite side. So remember, you're in control of how much tension the band has on it. Plant that hand, keeping both hands on the ground, holding a neutral spine position and pushing through the leg. Think about your chest being nice and open. Got 2 more. We're going to do an advancement of that exercise now. So if you felt comfortable at that level, you can stay there, keeping both hands planted on the ground. Our advancement is going to be a pull of the arm at the same time. So both the arm and the leg are moving away from the band. So you might need a little bit less tension on the band. So the movement is going to be so this time the arm starts kind of in line with the shoulder, the heel presses through, and you're going to push away. We're going to do 15 through here. We've got 2 more. Relaxing, changing sides. Hold as much tension as you can, keeping it comfortable for yourself. So it's starting with that hand underneath the shoulder, and we're pushing away for 15. Two more. And relaxing. We're going to be in a kneeling position and we're going to stretch out our arms. So kneeling here, the first one we are going to do is taking your shoulder or your arm across your chest, locking your elbow in and pulling that in towards your chest so you can feel that open across the front top of the arm there. So taking that the other way, take the arm across the chest, lock elbow to elbow and draw that in across your chest. You're going to change that. You're going to take your arm all the way up and touch your back of your neck with your hand. Bring your other hand to hold onto your elbow and then let yourself lean across so you can feel that stretch all the way down the side of your body. taking yourself the other way. Take the arm all the way into the sky. Take your hand to touch the back of your neck. Elbow, pulling and across so that you get that stretch all the way down the side of the body. I hope you enjoyed the class today, and I hope to see you another time for Pilates.